So the road to recovery continues as many are waiting for electricity to come back on. It's been well over a week at this point. Let's bring in Fox weather correspondent Robert Ray joining us from Nashville. Robert, it's really tough when it's cold and you don't have power. You can deal for a day, but then you start to get desperate as the days tick on.
Yeah, no doubt, Britta, and good morning from Broadway here in Nashville. This is Music City, and the lights are on here this morning. That's a good thing. And at this point, about 10,000 customers in the state of Tennessee are still out of power, most of them in the Nashville metro area. And at one point, we were looking at about 230,000 customers. That is about half of the people that are on the grid here, or the customers, rather, that are on the grid. Can you imagine that in a city as big as Nashville? 50+% of the customers at one point were out of power, and that was a week and a half ago because of this incredible winter storm that affected over 40 states and over 240 million people sweeping across the country. But look at this video, if we can, of the state of Tennessee, and you see the ice walls, perhaps. That's what I saw yesterday coming up from Atlanta into Nashville. So the residual of that winter storm still exists in many areas of the state of Tennessee, and we see the ice that just inundated Nashville and the metro area a week and a half ago, crippling the power lines and the infrastructure here. Quite literally, hundreds of power poles could not handle the weight of the ice. And by the way, they got about nearly 2 inches of snow, and then on top of that, about a half an inch of ice. And that is what caused the destruction with all of these power poles. And then, of course, the trees that fell. So the pickup has been vigorous here, tenacious. They still have hundreds of people that are out trying to restore all the power. Again, about 10,000 customers still in the dark here this morning, and it's very spotty. It's tough to tell exactly where some of these power outages are. If you look on the map, at one point you'll have 10 customers that are out in one little area, and then it goes to 0, and then another area you have a few dozen. So it continues to change as they try to reinforce the grid. I have to say, Tennessee right now has a light rain, a heavy fog here in Nashville, temps in the low 30s. And unfortunately, we're not going to see those temperatures fully rise until this weekend and into next week. But that will be at least a sigh of relief for the folks who have gone through all of this winter weather the past week and a half. It's just been a rough one in this part of the country. And they are certainly trying to get everything back in order, but not easy for the folks that are still in the dark here this morning in Tennessee. Back to you.
Robert, before we let you go, you've had such experience covering communities that don't have power because of multiple types of weather. In your opinion, the big difference between, not having power in the wake of a tropical system versus the wake of a winter system, can you kind of give us a perspective there for our viewers?
Well, both dangerous, certainly, right? You have sweltering heat down south with humidity and no power in the wake of a tropical system or hurricane. But here's the thing, you really are in a better place if you're in heat, at least without direct sunlight. In the cold, there's really nowhere to escape, right? Especially with winds and rain and fog that cause very dangerous scenarios. And that is why, the city has shelters open still for those that need to find refuge. A lot of people have spent time in hotels. As a matter of fact, when I came into Nashville last night and I was talking to someone at the restaurant, they actually were just leaving this morning to go back to their house because they had just gotten power. So when you think about that, a week and a half later, they've been in a hotel for some time. And, I failed to mention a second ago, this is actually quite important. The mayor of Nashville has put together a special committee to look at the sequences before, during, and after this winter storm, because there are a lot of very unhappy folks here in Nashville that think this could have been avoided, or at least that the power grid in some areas could have come on faster. So they're investigating, they're going to take a look, but no matter what, when you have a half-inch ice piled onto 2 inches of snow, and that just is not really a battle that you can win because of the weight that causes on poles and trees.
Yeah, it's a tough situation because obviously weather does some powerful things with those factors that you mentioned. But if you're the one that's without power for a week, paying for the hotel, if you're lucky enough to be in that position, I mean, it really is, it's tough, and you can see the struggles on both ends. Robert, thank you so much for the update out of Nashville. That is Robert Ray reporting in Nashville, Tennessee.